we're trying to do something that we've never done, and that's win a wild card. We've gotten in other ways, and that's win a division. And we've had a lot of flags. We have a lot of flags hanging up, but we don't have a wild card flag. So it'll be a good time to get one.
Welcome to Lunch Break, presented by Dietz & Watson. I'm your host, Rhea Hughes. I'm joined by Kevin Cooney, PhillyBurbs.com, Phillies baseball writer. Here's the amazing thing about this second wild card. I ripped it at the beginning of the season because I was one of those people who thought, before everything train wrecked, I thought that second wild card will wind up hurting the team I want to go far.
Sure.
And now the Phillies are grasping on it for dear life. 4 games off of the second wild card with last night's win. Are you starting to believe?
Yeah. And part of it is that you look at the rest of the National League and it's imploding in front of your eyes. I mean, the Cardinals have lost 2 straight in
10 of 14?
10 of 14, 2 straight in San Diego. They have a big weekend coming up against the Dodgers.
Okay.
The Dodgers have not played well. The Pirates are pretty much doing what the Pirates traditionally
generally do, yes.
It's funny that the 2 hottest teams in the National League are 2 teams that were left for dead.
The Brewers
which
and
were the Brewers and the Phillies, who both moved back within at 500 last night, both within 4 games.
And here you look at the wild card standings in the last 10 games. Just look at that: Cardinals 4-6, Dodgers 4-6, the Pirates 2-8, and then you're right. You look at those 2 teams at the bottom, 7-3, 8-2 in their last 10 games. That's amazing, and that positive trend of the Phillies being 8-10 in their last 10 games could continue with the way the schedule breaks down.
Yeah, 4 against the Astros, obviously, this weekend. 3 against the Mets, who have kind of really struggled in the second half of the year. They have 3 more, beyond the day. They have 3 in Miami, on that final weekend of the season. Then they go to Washington, who may not have anything to play for. Really, it's coming down to it. The Phillies play at the same clip pretty much. If they go, a 15-5 and throw up there at this point, I think that they have a real good shot at this because, again, other teams just seem like they can't handle what's going on at this point.
What I'm really interested in is today's game, the finale of the Phillies-Marlins series, to me is a huge game for Cliff Lee.
Yeah.
Because this team has won 6 in a row. The momentum is building up. Talking on the morning show with fans, they're all back in. This is a huge game for him tonight.
Yeah, because people still have in their minds what happened last October in that game against the Cardinals. And I think people have always kind of, in the back of their heads, kept,
Don't let us down again.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking at with this game today.
And Lee has been the one guy, I think, that because of everything that happened this year, he'll never say it, but was affected by that kind of negative clubhouse malaise that was there for a long time. I want to see how he handles this spot. I want to see how he handles a big game against a good pitcher in Josh Johnson. Look, they could lose 2-1, and if Lee throws a great game,
and we've seen that. It's not like we haven't seen it. Yeah.
But it sets up where this should be a bust-out game for Cliff Lee today because they need it going on the road.
Well, everything's a playoff game. A couple of guys I want to mention to you. One guy is Kyle Kendrick, where you could really point to how huge he's been with this turnaround. The numbers for him in his last 9 starts, 5-2, an ERA a little bit over 2. If you include his relief appearances, his ERA is under 2, 1.98. What has been the difference for him?
He's just confidence, I think, part of it. And the one thing, they kept trying to have him work on that changeup. He kind of fell in love there with the cutter when he found, they kind of work with Roy Halladay on. I think he's finally found that the changeup can be an out pitch for him. You're seeing him become more of a strikeout pitcher in that sense, and that's something that they've really tried to work on, since really 2008, 2009.
It's finally worked.
And it's finally worked, and it finally clicked in. And he talked about that the other night, that it just seems like things are gelling for him right now because he has confidence in that changeup and able to throw for strikes in key spots.
Another thing that's been a huge difference is the bullpen. And last night you get Philippe Aumont, who comes in, gets in a little bit of a jam that he created, and gets out of it. He was on the 40-man roster, right?
Yes.
So, and you had mentioned because of injuries, and he's in the system, he could have come up if they make the playoffs. That could be a huge bridge to what you need to get to Papelbon, which has been a huge problem.
Well, and remember, most of what August and September were supposed to be was let's find out about the kids. Let's find out and see who could fit in down the road. Well, now Aumont gives you a look at possibly somebody who could be an 8th inning guy for them next year. I mean, at very least, he's a good 7th inning guy if you want to go get a veteran, but it maybe takes some of the pressure off having to go get that veteran right-hander to be the bridge to Papelbon that maybe can complement Bastarda.
Everybody's in a better mood, and one of our favorite people that we know is Zoo with Roy, and we had Zoo with Roy on a couple months ago. He has a graph on his that is how he feels about the Phillies at different parts of the season. He was in the butt zone for a long time. That was really bad. He moved up to awe, and I think when they had 6 wins and got 4 off, we're now in the funner zone with Zoo with Roy.
Actually, Zoo with Roy projected that. So, it's like...
He's a sage, is that what you're telling me?
The Penguin is a sage.
The Penguin knows all. We're going to have to get the Penguin back on.
Yes, you are.
And one of my favorite guests. All right, let's do some rapid fire.
Sure.
We mentioned a couple guys. Who is your second half MVP? I know you wanted to bring up a name. I'm not sure it's your guy, but you said we do have to mention him.
Yeah, I would say Jimmy Rollins has been huge in this kind of push. He was in 298. I had the numbers here. 14 runs scored, 15 RBIs, 4 homers, 6 stolen bases. When he goes, the energy goes up.
It's amazing. It's been that way for a long time with him. And you get annoyed with him with the issues he has. And last night, I mean, you said before the show, the stuff that was not going right for the Phillies in the first couple of months of the season. That play last night where he pops up behind home plate.
Well, yeah, there's 2 plays. Yeah. It's the play behind home plate. The catcher drops the ball, it turns around, hits the next pitch out of there. And then we mentioned Almont. Almont throws a split finger with a man on third that goes all the way to the backstop and bounces right back to Carlos Ruiz.
Yeah.
That's the type of weird stuff you really can't explain.
The ball is bouncing for them right in the second half. Wins for the Phillies this season.
I'm going 85.
So you're saying they're going to go 15 and 5?
They're going to go 15 and 5.
All right, there we go. Okay, so will they get the second wild card?
Up until last night, I wasn't fully on board. I'm still going to say 86. It will get it.
Okay.
They'll fall a game short. But
the Zoo with Roy Graff just went.
But the one thing is, they've played so well here, and they've given you something, A, to watch in September.
Absolutely.
And B, they've given you some hope that this division is not going to be the Nationals by default next year. I mean, they're in the hunt.
If they have everybody healthy coming into next season, then it should be fine.
They still have the one thing Ruben Amaro has to guard against. They still have major.
They have a lot of holes to fill, and they have to do them. All right, I want to thank Kevin Cooney from PhillyBurbs.com for being my guest on Lunch Break, presented by Dietz & Watson.